Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss any episodes or bonus content. If you love what we do and want an easy way to show your support, please consider leaving us a positive, all the stars rating on your favorite listening platform. It helps SPN and fanfic lovers find us and share in the fun. I'm Sandra.
I'm Kasey. And today we're going to take a look at some of the baddies from Supernatural. Now, we've covered a lot of the big bads, you know, like Lucifer and Chuck and Crowley, Rowena, So not to put too fine a point on it, right, but we've run out of main big bads now. So we're grouping some people together, and we do have a big list, and we look down the list and we were like, what to talk about? Princes of Hell? Princes of Hell. We're talking about the Princes of Hell this week, guys. Sandra, saved me. I'm floundering like fuck.
Well, okay. So I think one of the things we were immediately talking about was, why don't we talk about the demons, right? But then we were like, there's so many different categories.
Yeah, which demons specifically?
Yeah, and we were like, I think Kasey, you even had said at one point, like, well, what was Dean? And he was like, Prince of Hell? No, he was a Knight of Hell. Like, what was Abaddon? Like those kinds of questions. They were like, well, what makes the most sense? Because when we do another episode, not in the not too distant future, we're going to have a counterpoint to our Princes of Hell. And I mean, I was thinking about this morning, that there really wouldn't be any Supernatural if the demon storyline wasn't a thing, because it all started with Mary and her demon deal, you know? So I think really when you get back to like who the first baddie was that inflicted the storyline,
John Winchester.
Well, okay, but then if you get
no, I know what you mean.
But yeah, it would probably be Azazel, you know, and what he did in terms of his deal with Mary.
I'm sure Wikipedia details him as the primary antagonist of the first 5 seasons. No, 2 seasons. 2 seasons.
But the storyline continues, right? Like it, like I think like any good serial show, right? Like what they did really well, I think, in the first 5 seasons is they really built out and explored the world and the canon and just added things to it that made sense.
It was very like, you know, here's this bad guy, and in the process of defeating this bad guy, then Dean has to sell his soul. So then we start looking closer at hell. How do we get out of this? And then it goes from there. And it, you know, and it like, you know, the first 5 seasons have a real good through plot. I'm not going to talk about anything after that.
Well,
the first 5 seasons, solid.
We've talked, but I think we could still talk more about those other seasons and like, you know, where.
And we will.
At
some point.
Lucky listeners.
Yay! We figured we would, because I would have been happy to do Knights of Hell, but there's fucking loads of them, apparently. And I think we can't really be like Demon Dean and Abaddon. There's loads of them. And they don't get names, a lot of them, so...
This is, you know, like I said, this is a good balance. This is 4, you know, and I think we'll get to explore another set of baddies that come in 4s later on.
We like some symmetry, literary parallels.
We do. It's fun. It's fun.
And also, Wikipedia, the Supernatural wiki, tells me that there are like 9 types of demons. So maybe one day we will come and explore the other types of demons. But not today. Today we're going to look at Azazel, the Prince of Hell, and the other 3 that they lumped in later down the line. Am I wrong, though?
No, you're not. I mean, considering how long it took for the other ones to show up in the series, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, it is kind of interesting to think that it started under Kripke. And then I think by the time it's really picked up again, at least the Princes of Hell part, we're talking season 12. And that was Dab, or the end of Carver and the beginning of Dab taking over. So they like to go back to the original and pull.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They just didn't have any ideas. They were like, oh, dicks. Fuck. What have we not used?
No, but I mean,
Prince of Hell.
Again, I'm
in a funny mood today, guys. Sorry.
Okay. No, but I mean, what we were just talking about too, whether or not you agree with how it was executed, right? Like the plot of it. I think they did learn how you can flesh out one small part and build it out a little bit more. And I mean, I'm assuming, I did not look into this enough either, but I'm assuming there's some lore or something that kind of goes back to all of these demons in some case, because I mean, I know that they use a lot of biblical references and things.
Do you mean in canon law or actual like biblical?
Like biblical lore. Like I'm wondering if there's there has to be. I would think. I feel like Joey said something about one of these characters at some point in one of our discussions. I can't remember.
Azazel.
Sure. Azazel, yeah, because he had talked about, and I like found some information.
There is little overlap between who and what Azazel is in the show versus who and what Azazel is as told in the Bible. And they kind of just plucked a name,
a
little bit. Which is, that's totally fine. They did that for a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not an issue. I've got to say, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm ragging on Supernatural, like, oh yeah, no, they run out of shit to do. But actually, if right off the back of Azazel, they'd gone, oh, and here's another Prince of Hell, we would have been like, what? No, that's dumb. So while the other three princes appearing in rapid succession does lend itself to them going, tits, we don't have a big bad anymore. Fuck, let's find something to cause a problem with. I do think that length of time was important. And again, they come up very pertinently to Lucifer. So, it does tie in. It does. They're not as stupid as we give them credit for.
No. But Lucifer, going back to that too, Lucifer was the one that created the demons to start with, right? Like
the Princes of Hell. The Princes of Hell were the first generation of demons.
Okay.
Made.
Does that include Lilith, or was Lilith first?
No. So the Supernatural Wikipedia says Princes of Hell were the first generations of demons created by the Archangel Lucifer after the creation of the first demons Lilith and Alastair, and before the Knights of Hell.
Okay.
Crowley further states they were made.
Alastair was that. It makes sense now though, because he had white eyes, didn't he? He had white eyes.
He's a white-eyed demon.
Okay. Go, Alastair. Didn't know you were above the princes. Hey, way to go there. Way to go there,
absolute
buddy.
Fucking
legend.
It says Alastair was a white-eyed demon and possibly the second demon ever made, whose past is unknown, but implied to be almost as long as Lilith's. Ruby called him the Grand Inquisitor, whether the title was official or not.
That makes a lot more sense now, yeah.
He's Hell's Grand Inquisitor. He's like the torturer, isn't he? Like if you want information, Alastair is the one that gets the information from you. Whereas Lilith is more of the, I'm going to talk about the Princes of Hell. Let's deep dive into Lilith.
But it all connects too. So, having that makes sense too in a way, because I think once they got rid of Alastair, they got rid of Lilith. So to bring back anything later on, if you're talking about like the next tier, you got to go with the princes. The Princes of Hell.
Yeah. No. So Lilith is in supernatural law. I don't know if this is true in Bible law. I haven't read the Bible. Don't at me, people.
Not enough for me to give you any context for. So,
Lilith is. She's the first demon ever created, her soul having been twisted by Lucifer as an act of spite against God that got him expelled from heaven. I think we can say from all of that Supernatural takes inspiration from the Christian Bible, but
and that makes us all question any sort of information that
it makes us go, that's not the fall of Lucifer. I know that. And then, I don't know that, but I'm aware of Paradise Lost, and I'm aware that all right, my knowledge of the fall of Lucifer comes from the TV show Lucifer. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah. That's what I know. And I think that is more biblically accurate. But yeah, I went to church occasionally as a kid, and I'm still pretty sure that Lucifer was cast out because he refused to bow down to humanity, not because he corrupted the soul of Eve, at Lilith even.
No, he was just upset. He was like, Daddy likes somebody better than me. He wasn't having that. He didn't understand that. He didn't understand that part of it.
And now I'm thinking about it. That fact doesn't come up again in Supernatural, though, does it? The beef between fucking Lucifer and God in the latter parts of the show is literally because you didn't love me, you Cassifer. Oh, fucking Lilith doesn't get a look in. She's got mentioned. Who decided that that's what this was?
Daddy issues. Here we go. Let's bring it all back.
I want to hang on. I want a reference to this. Stuck in the middle with you. All right, okay. No, they do mention it in the show then, but
it's not like the main. Again, like that's not his. He just wanted attention. He wasn't having it. So he's responsible for all these darn demons just floating about. Like he was like, no, I could do a better job. I can show Daddy how it's supposed to be done, and then let's create this whole. If I'm down here, I might as well do something with it. So that's
do you have any idea how many hours I'm going to spend on Wikipedia now looking up the fall of Lucifer and finding out exactly what happened?
Well, I do think that there was the Apple and Eve situation. I mean, again, that was, I think
but that was after, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think that was Lucifer's way of saying, look, they can be corrupted, or look, like I can, like, like that kind of a thing. Like, like, oh, they're not as great as you think they are, Daddy. Like, that kind of a thing. That would be my interpretation of it. Probably not accurate. If you ask a pope, they're going to give you a much different explanation. But
that's why they end up in tubes.
That's why they have a tube. Oh man, there's going to be
moving on. The princes of hell, the first demons created by the first generation of demons created by the Archangel Lucifer after Lilith and Alastair. Moving on. Maybe we'll cover Lilith and Alastair at a later date. Maybe we won't. Let us know if you want us to. Moving on. 4 of them. That's a lovely fucking number. I like that. One of them gets dickloads of screen time, and the other 3 are like, and we're here too. But no, one of them gets dickloads of screen time. One of them gets half a dickload of screen time, and the other 2 are like, and we're here too. One of them is only in 1 episode.
Who would you say is getting a dickload of screen time?
Azazel.
See, I would think being talked about would be Azazel. The dickload of screen time that's not even necessary is the last one, in my mind.
Okay, screen dickload time. Of plot.
Yes.
Then. Yes. A dickload of plot. Azazel gets a dickload of plot. Asmodeus, all right, let's address this now. I am aware that the show chooses to pronounce that Asmodeus, and I choose not to. That's just not how I would pronounce that word. So I'm not going to pronounce it that way. I'm sorry if that upsets anybody, but I find Asmodeus tedious.
I might go back and forth. I'm trying to see if I can do Asmodeus, but my brain wants to say, no, Asmodeus. My brain wants to say Asmodeus. I just did it. Okay. Yeah, I did.
I'm sure there's other words that they pronounce with an affectation like that. I can't think of any now, but I'm sure there are other words in the show that I'm like, I don't think that's pronounced like that. It's the way I read it is Asmodeus. I'm real sorry if that's triggering to anybody, but yeah, he gets half a dick worth of plot time, and the other 2 are like, and we're here too.
Yeah,
one of them is only in 1 episode.
He gets too much screen time, in my opinion.
Sandra doesn't like Colonel Sanders. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it, but I suppose we should start at the beginning. I've always found that quite a helpful place to start with Azazel, which is the primary antagonist of the first 2 seasons. So Azazel, the yellow-eyed demon. I'm sure he goes by other monikers.
He's called the General of Hell.
There's an occupation on the Supernatural Wiki. Occupation, demon. That's really funny.
It's a full-time job. You get away from that 24/7.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yes. Azazel refers to Lucifer as his daddy.
That's uncomfortable. I don't like that at all. Stop that. Stop it.
But he's very loyal. He's a loyal one.
He was. I think he might be up there with Ruby in terms of he was loyal, he had a plan, he executed it. It didn't go great. No. Like Ruby's plan worked, but he had a plan and blah, blah, blah. But what you see of Azazel in the show is not necessarily the canonical story of Azazel, because then we have those weird flashback episodes where we go and we say he makes a deal with Mary to save John in 1973, which is how he's able to get into Sam's nursery in 83, which then leads us all the way up to the start.
Mhm.
So yeah, super fucking supernatural in the flashback episodes, man. That's rude. But you know, I liked Azazel. I liked the actor who played Azazel. I thought he was a good baddie.
I kind of like how the different actors interpreted him too. Like, I think that the actor that ended up playing Azazel took Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of when Azazel was possessing John, and then just kind of tweaked it just a little bit more, but really kind of, that's just something I'm always, when a show's around for that long, and the way Supernatural is just by association that everybody can like body hop or whatever. Like, you get so many different people attempting the same character kind of based off of what they've been given from another actor. So I did enjoy his whole, like, you know, especially like the all hell, because you really see him in All Hell Breaks Loose. Like, that's when it, you know, you get a little bit of it in What in My Time of Dying at the beginning of season 2. You get the actor, I think you get the actor for the first time playing him that ends up playing him again.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It's
then,
Frederick Lane. It's Lehne.
Lehane, I think.
Lehane. Yeah.
I think.
Fucking excellent. And you know what? I would actually be really interested to know if Christopher Hidehall spoke to him in preparation for playing Alastair, because they give the same kind of vibe, that kind of like old as fuck, really confidence that's gone past arrogance. Like, we need to invent a whole new word for what they are, but you know, really fucking cocksure, really smug, really condescending. And like, I would be interested to know, like, not that I'm saying that Christopher Hidehall couldn't find Alastair on his own, because he fucking could. He's a really great actor. But I'd just be interested to know if he reached out and was like, hey, I'm going to play this guy, and I know you played this guy, and I feel like maybe there should be a little bit of similarity, you know?
Yeah. I think there's the inconsequentiality of humanity, too, that they embody really well. Like, you guys are just here just for a purpose that I think, of course, I think they've gotten from Lucifer to, like, the disdain for humanity, I think is definitely something that tracks down the family line with all of that.
But I think especially for Alastair, who has spent, you know, eons torturing in hell, it's really easy for him to see how quickly that humanity falls away. You know, every demon was a human once upon a time. Yeah. Kind of vibe. But yeah, no, I liked Azazel. I thought he was a compelling villain. I thought it was, you know, because this is like Supernatural in the early days when they were fucking shit pants scared of demons, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of that meme. It's from one of the early episodes. They're like, demons? I don't know. That's out of our wheelhouse. Or like, that's too powerful. And then the one underneath it is Crowley, Cass, and Dean sat in that fucking waiting room. It was like season 9 or something like that. I just sat there like, this is what we're doing now.
This is what we're doing now. Oh my goodness. It loses a lot in the show. The repetitiveness, the making them easier, and then the whole not worrying about the vessel. The vessel just becomes like something that's not really discussed or talked about as much. I think I'm on season 11, where it's right before Sam finds out that it's Lucifer that's been, you know, sending him, you know, the visions of what he has to do to defeat the darkness. And there's like a moment when he's in hell and Dean is, you know, with Amara, and they're having the discussion when she's like, I think like 15 or 16. And he's really trying not to kill the vessels. Like, you could tell, like, that's a thing that he's like, he's legitimately having to just try to like chokehold them or whatever. But like, you know, and he makes like a call, like at the end, it's like 2 out of 4 ain't bad or something like that. Like, he still had to kill like a couple, but it's like his almost like his reasoning is coming back to him that, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't be doing, you know, maybe I should try a little harder, not to just, you know, continue to gank them or whatever.
Yeah. And that was very well played by Ruby to tap into that part of Sam to go, no, you can save them. Because I think if she hadn't have had that ace, you know, maybe it all would have gone down differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I when supernatural was simple, when demons were the scariest thing you could face, and we hadn't ramped it up past 11, 10 more times.
I thought it was interesting too, because like when we talked to Joey end of season 2, like he was like, it was a quick demise to a baddie, like, at end of season 2 already. He's like, so I was he said he was kind of surprised, at that. And I was just like thinking to myself, oh, you had no idea, kid. If you stick around, then you watch some more of this.
It was like stage 1 of the boss fight,
Yeah.
The one that hooks you in and makes you go, oh my god, I can do this, and then you get like pummeled by the next one. Yeah. One of my favorite things about Azazel is the way that it absolutely paints John in such a horrible fucking light. He paints John in such a horrible light because Dean's like, he'd be furious. Why are you being so nice to me? Because you can imagine. I was imagining Azazel like piloting John like fucking mech in his brain, like for like Alan's Saturday morning cartoon, just piloting the John bot, just being like, oh fuck, I was too nice, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
which really does make me laugh.
He didn't study his character enough. He should have.
He did not.
He didn't go method.
You got to be particularly calculating to pull off John Winchester. But yeah, I think all the people that played Azazel as well did really good jobs, but he met his unfortunate demise at the end of season 2 in All Hell Breaks Loose. He gets shot by the cult, by Dean.
Yes.
That is right, isn't it?
That is right, yes.
Check our notes.
Yes. Killed by Dean with Colt. That was a good death. That was a good one. Definitely.
It felt very satisfying. It felt like this they'd been on this quest and they'd done all the things and they'd got the weapon, and now very Legend of Zelda. You've got the fucking. I've never played a Legend of Zelda game in my life, but you've got the Master Sword and you've collected the Triforces or whatever the fuck, and now you're ready to fight Ganondorf. Now you've got all the pieces and you're ready, and then it all comes together. And there's that nice question mark moment where John distracts him so Dean can shoot him, and it's all I think Azazel has a lot of sass that the other Princes of Hell don't have as well, because when he hands Jake the gun and he's like, this is the only gun that can kill me, and like, I'm sure it's Jake, immediately shoots him and it's empty, and he's like, what an unforeseen happenstance. How could this have happened? Idiot. You don't get that with the I mean, 2 of them don't get enough fucking time to show us that.
I think you get sass. I don't know. I remember Dagon being sassy with Kelly and with some other people. I think even Ramiel, I think it's just different. Asmodeus' sass was just, I just didn't like his sass. But I think they're all sassy to a certain extent. I think you got to be a potential inheritor of the.
Maybe it's just because I like Azazel more.
Yeah, maybe I think it might be that too. Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. But yes, he meets his end in Wyoming at the Devil's Gate and gets shot with the Colt. And it's this lovely little that's nice. And then you go, oh shit, Dean sold his soul. Fuck. That was way to ruin the moment.
Oh gosh.
Alrighty. And then we don't hear anything about the Princes of Hell until season 12. Like Azazel gets mentioned in like 4 and 5, I think. No, just 4.
He comes back in 6 as like a hallucination by Dean at the start as part of the Jinn stuff that's happening with him.
He's in not Azazel, but Mary with yellow eyes is in Sam's detox hallucinations as well. She's all bloody. She's got the yellow eyes. Yeah, but we don't see Azazel again after season 4, other than just a few little.
Yeah, nothing substantial. Yeah, it's just like, oh look, we got this actor to come back and do this thing.
Look, we did a thing. Yeah. But then we jump forward to season 12. And like I said at the start of the episode, I was like, oh yeah, no, they just threw that or blah, blah, blah. But it's a very Lucifer heavy arc. So it does make sense. We didn't know how Lucifer heavy the arc was going to become when we met Azazel, but now we do. And we're like, yeah, okay. So the next Prince of Hell that we encounter is Dagon, who is actually a girl, I think.
Yeah.
Is Dagon a girl? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she still goes by Prince of Hell.
Yes. Yeah. I've never heard them say Princess of Hell. So they're all Princes of Hell.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, so she was very much like, she was doing what she needed to do for Lucifer to protect Kelly, right? So that Kelly could, in fact, give birth to Lucifer's Nephilim baby. And then
I would argue he's Kelly's Nephilim baby.
Oh, okay, but I'm saying he helped
Lucifer's
out.
progeny. Yeah. Lucifer's really? Did he though? Did he really? There's a conversation there about the male contribution to pregnancy that we are not going to get into.
Well,
did he really though?
He felt like it was his baby. Like, can we?
Yeah, Lucifer had a lot of feelings about property.
Yeah,
and what was his.
Yes.
And he's cordially invited to suck 100% of my dick with those views. But he's older than most stuff. So.
But like everything else in, male-dominated society, it's my baby. You're carrying my baby. That kind of a situation. So
yeah, fully gross. So from Dagon, we actually learn quite a lot more about the Knights of Hell, because from her we learn that her and her siblings just fucked off, and they were spread the rumors that they were dead. So everyone just left them alone, and then just went on about their little demony lives, which is, if you're cursed to live for all eternity, I feel like you need a project. Just don't feel like I could sustain that level of, fuck heaven for eons. You get tired. Yeah. You need a hobby.
Lucifer did dangle, though, that, she'd be sitting by his side, right? And then she would be basically she'd be the Nephilim's mama, right? Was that part of that? I feel like that was part of the storyline too. Kelly was just there to get the baby pushed out, and then Kelly was no longer going to be needed. So it was just about protecting Kelly long enough so that she could do the thing she needed to do, which was give birth. That was a crazy time. Just watching her deal with that whole situation happening inside of her, and those different scenes and stuff when she was she tried to, and it didn't work out. Jack was like, nope.
Nope. Yeah. And she ends up being Kelly's babysitter, doesn't she? And I'm trying to find anything about Lucifer being no, you'll totally be with me. Shut up.
I feel like when they had conversations, there were conversations that were being had that I remember in the storyline. And it was a way to keep Dagon, doing what he needed her to do. So I think there was this sort of telepathic discussion or something going on at some point with that. So we're going to say yes. And then somebody will let us know if we're incorrect. Most definitely.
If we're wrong. Yeah.
Let us know.
If we're wrong, let us know.
But then how did she get it?
How did she get what?
How did she get offed?
Oh, Cass killed her.
But how?
Yeah. So that was, the big final showdown in 1219. Cass is trying to Cass is trying to save Kelly and, retrieve her and take her to heaven and blah 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 blah. But Dagon finds them first. So she tries to kill Cass, and Cass grabs Kelly's hand, which is an interesting choice, frankly. That's a lot of questions that we have there regarding women and children first and things like that. I just think that's an interesting choice to make. But through touching Kelly, Cass is imbued with Jack's power, which makes him able to block Dagon's attack and then grab hold of her and set her on fire, which is very, very cool.
Because doesn't Dagon do something with the colt? Doesn't she melt? She
melts it.
Yeah,
she melts it. They try. Sam and Dean have the colt, and they're trying to distract her, and she just takes it and goes bleh. Which is quite sad considering all they went through to get that fucking gun. There's a lot of it was concerning. But yeah, no, she melts the colt. The wiki says severely damaging the gun. I can't remember if they managed to fix it or not. But
so no, Dagon, we did not get a lot of screen time either. Even though she was definitely in a few more episodes than the next Prince of Hell that we're going to talk about.
Yes. So the next Prince of Hell, we meet again in season 12, in the episode Stuck in the Middle with You. And unfortunately, this is his only appearance. It's very, very sad. But the third prince that we meet is Ramiel, which I think that's how you pronounce it.
I would say, yeah, Ramiel.
Ramiel, yeah.
Likes to fish.
Yeah, they all just kind of like being left alone, really, don't they? just to go away.
Him the most, I think, out of everybody, because he really seemed like he was not interested in anything at all. Like, I don't even think he was interested in having any sort of a relationship with Lucifer, where I think with Dagon, you get a much different vibe. Like, even though she kind of went off and did her own thing, if Lucifer came calling, she seemed a little bit more attuned or interested, where Ramiel was all about, like, shedding his responsibility, not wanting to be the king of hell or anything like that. I thought that was an interesting. I'm still confused by it. It really makes you have to think when they show the reveal of, how Crowley ends up getting, going from Crossroads Demon to King of Hell Demon. Like, that's kind of flashbacked and talked about in this episode. And that was interesting, but still kind of, it always makes me go, wait, I got to think, what season was that? What are we talking about now?
Yeah. It's, I would have liked to have seen more of all of them. I would have liked to have got more information on all of them. But yeah, Ramiel's just like, don't care about freeing Lucifer. Just leave me alone. I don't collect some shit. I'm a fish. And that is what he do. He's a collector, having amassed a large collection of ancient and arcane weaponry. Most notable among his collection were the Lance of Michael and the Colt.
And this is where the British men of letters get in the middle of everything, because Mary basically went in there, right, because she had to go get something that they wanted. And she then created this whole big mess. Other hunters dying, Cass almost dying. And then Crowley had to come in, help out with what was it called? The Lance?
The Lance of Michael. The Lance of Michael. Yeah, I think that might be what oh no, that's that's season 14, isn't it?
So it does the whole 6 years ago, right? And Stuck in the Middle with You, where Crowley goes to Ramiel's home bearing gifts for him. And
oh god, is this the one with the blooper where Cass is in the barn actually dying and Jared and Jensen are like, oh, who's talking? Yeah. And you just hear Misha go, guys, this is a big moment for me. Yeah. Fucking, I know supernatural episodes by bloopers alone at this point.
So here's where the Colt comes back. Next, Crowley gives him a personal gift, the Colt, much to Ramiel's astonishment.
Coronation present, Crowley approaches him to take the throne.
And then Crowley's like, hey, Hell needs a leader. Lilith and Azazel dead. Lucifer's locked away. Ramiel's like, I could give a shit. I want to go find myself. I just want to fish. I want some trout. I need to pick some stuff up.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
And he just says, Crowley, you take it. And that, don't worry. My siblings don't give a shit. They stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah, they'll leave you alone.
And Crowley's like, yeah, sure.
All right, I've read this, and it does not tell me why they have gone to bother him.
I think
do they want the Colt back?
Mary wanted the Colt. The British men of letters, I believe, wanted the Colt.
Right. Okay.
I think that's what it was, because
that
has to be it. Because then that becomes a thing that then they have again. So they have it, and then they use it for. So even though we see, I think, Dagon before we see Ramiel, this ties into, I believe, the Colt coming back.
Yeah. So, this must take place while Kelly is pregnant then.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, deal with some shit. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, this is the only episode that we see Ramiel in, and he don't make it to the end of the episode. There's, lovely, lovely big fight, and mother and son duo. Mary stabs him in the back with an angel blade, and Sam stabs him, spears him with the lance, and it says Ramiel laughs and then explodes into a cloud of black dust, that's interesting, isn't it? Dagon goes up in flames, Ramiel explodes. I think Azazel just falls over. I don't remember being really and like.
I think it's just him getting like that whole like electric, like that whole like sizzle thing that tended to happen.
Yeah.
Like was happening with, I think that's what happened, I think, with the vampire, I think, when they used it the first time. So nothing as, dramatic.
It's similar to the Demon Blade, isn't it? Where you just kind of see it like the energy go through the body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not as cool though.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No.
Come along like 10 years later and we'll give you a cool death. Yeah. And that is the end of Ramiel. Dude just wanted to collect shit and fish, frankly. Very, very sad.
Yeah.
We're all sad for Ramiel. We're not sad for Ramiel. It's, yeah. So 3 princes down and 1 to go. And this is the one Sandra does not like. Asmodeus, unfortunately.
He's just weird. Like it's hard to take him. It's hard to take him seriously, or like he just doesn't feel like a big threat. And I don't. Again, I think it's just the acting, and the suit doesn't help either. Like I feel like they were trying to do something similar to what Sam, like when Sam was dressed up in the white suit, but it looks very comedic in this situation. I mean, I don't know if you can really ever pull off a white suit. I don't know, but I think Sam did it much better than Asmodeus does in this situation, because it's just very cartoony. He's very cartoony. He's a cartoony character.
I think that's the thing. It's very heavy-handed, but Samothrace in the white suit is so obviously a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
It's Lucifer being theatrical and going, look, I'm in a white suit and I'm holding a rose and I'm talking to you like this, but like Lucifer's in on the joke. You know, he's like, this is funny, isn't it? And Dean's so horrified.
Is the joke. Like Asmodeus is literally the joke, like of that.
It's like, yeah. Asmodeus is like, no, I really do rock this white suit. Yeah, it's a bit when Lucifer does it. I think Asmodeus genuinely is like, no, I'm making a very poignant statement right now.
I don't know. I felt that was a very weak villain situation. Like I didn't like him. I don't know. I mean, knowing what he did, like I think the backstory of him is very interesting, and you feel that he is a very menacing character. I just don't feel like you get that with the portrayal of this character, because the fact of the things that he did to Gabriel, you know, and like all the other stuff he's been doing, the actions and then the portrayal of it just don't mesh for me. I think that's where I'm like lost a little bit in this character. I
agree with you, but I think when you take in the bigger plot, I think that's probably by design. Because it's Asmodeus is supposed to be the weakest. So that kind of something to prove.
Does say he's the youngest. Yeah, the youngest of the 4.
It says Lucifer reveals to Castiel that Asmodeus was his weakest creation and was unaware where Asmodeus got the ability to shapeshift among his other powers, claiming not to have given them to him. So he gets his powers from Gabriel. But it's, you know, when you take in the character, considering that it's very much that little brother something to prove, which we have seen with other, admittedly with the angels, and I guess Sam, but let's not get into that. We'll be here all day. We've got shit to do today. You know, that kind of little brother, you know, I'll show you energy is very prevalent in the show in general. So while he is an irritating character, I agree with you. I think in the broader scheme of the plot, his characterization makes sense. But yes, also that
just
suit was fucking stupid,
me, so I don't care.
And he irritates me.
He's irritating.
And I am on record as really loving Gabriel. So you know, the scene where we see Gabriel locked up with his mouth sewn shut was horrifying to me, and as such, this man needs to burn in hell for all eternity. Like real hell, like demon hell. You know, that
was a great like reveal.
Oh,
like,
it
you know,
was
of him
brilliant.
coming back. Yeah. Like that was something that I think they did really well in 13.
Again, you know, Rich Spate Jr. is an incredible actor, and while I do have problems with him as a person, I will not deny his acting chops whatsoever, and his portrayal of Gabriel is one of my favorite. Like, Gabriel is one of my favorite characters in the show, and it's a little bit like sort of Ruby and Sam, where you end up going, how did this weak character end up enslaving this really strong character? There's it's not a direct parallel by any means, but that kind of the trickery and the subterfuge and the kind of the idea of this weak character having a fucking lion on a leash, if you will.
No, I get it.
I'm into it.
I get it. I think, to me, so it's the scenery chewing that for some reason just does not work for me. I understand all of that.
It's totally fine to be like, no, every time he's on screen, I want to punch him.
And it's weird too, because like, I know people like hate the Leviathan's plot, but like, I thought Dick Roman
he was a great
so
villain,
smarmy and just so encapsulated it in a way that I thought was like really like, it's over the top, but then in a way that makes sense. And to me, this is just like, look at me. And I guess that's the whole point. Look at me, look what I can do. Like, I'm the greatest thing ever since fried chicken, apparently, but it just didn't work.
I'm gonna gently encourage you to have a little chat in your brain, not now, but at some point. But I am just going to gently encourage you to question yourself of how much of your dislike of this character is to do with his accent. I am not stating anything. I am not calling you anything. I'm not stating you anything. I would just like you to question your own, maybe unconscious bias there.
I don't like it.
I think the accent is part of your problem with this character. I think if he had a nice... like East Coast accent or West Coast accent.
Even for a Southern accent, I'm telling you, it doesn't sound like a genuine, like it sounds like a caricature of an accent. Like it sounds so
like a Hollywood plantation owner.
Or like Looney Tunes, like the chicken. I can't even remember his name now, but like he's just like, it's so
Dagon.
Yes, it's so much. It's like, it's too cartoony. It's like he could have pulled it back, and I think could have made it. Yeah, it's definitely the portrayal. It's definitely that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As it turns out, what we learned is 7 years before Asmodeus took over Hell, he was sold the Archangel Gabriel by Loki, the god of mischief. Well, actually, Loki's sons captured Gabriel. But they sold him to Asmodeus, who then tortured him like forever. Just beep, 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 beep. Big torture. And as we find out, what he was actually doing was extracting Gabriel's grace and injecting it into himself, which is how he got all his newfangled powers. So it's Ketch that frees Gabriel, takes some of his grace and his blade and stuff like that.
So the Archangel blade, right?
Yeah. So it's in 1317.
I wrote it, Bring Him Back Alive. That episode?
No, 1317, The Thing. That is when Ketch frees Gabriel.
Okay.
Because Ketch is pissed off with Asmodeus at this point. Maybe it's the shoes. I don't know. That's also like he's wearing trainers. All right. If you're gonna wear a fancy ass suit like that, put some nice shoes on. He's wearing trainers.
Wrong in that. Yeah. Please, let's keep going. Or I'll
just not again. It'll be a problem. Don't fucking fuck on my god. I said, boy.
Yes.
I'm watching a D&D campaign, a rooster character based on fuck on like on. That is really funny.
God.
But yeah, no, Ketch fucks off with Gabriel and he takes his grace and the Archangel blade, takes him all to the Menelaus. Ketch is like, I got this, you can have it as long as you keep me safe. And Sam and Dean are like, yeah, all right, seems reasonable. So it takes Gabriel a minute to get his shit back together. Fucking reasonable. My man has been tortured for a long time.
Yeah.
But when he takes like, he's given like a vial of his grace, which he inhales or whatever the fuck it is angels do with him, and kind of just like comes back online a little bit, which then leads Asmodeus to be like, I know where he is. I've got a tracking device. Let's not look too closely into it. He absorbed Gabriel's grace, which now means he can find Gabriel anywhere on the planet. Let's not look too close. Storms the bunker. It's a whole big thing. Crashes through all the warding because he's a prince of hell. And we get the best fucking scene of Gabriel on the balcony, and Asmodeus buys a demon ball at him, whatever, and Gabriel's like, lol, no. And Asmodeus is like, you're too weak to challenge me. And Gabriel does this really cool fucking powers on with like the shadow wings and the glowy eyes, and it's cool as fuck. And then he's like, I always hated that suit, and sets him on fire. Gabriel says, I always hated that dumbass suit before he sets Asmodeus on fire, killing him and rendering the princes of hell obsolete.
Thank you for doing that for me, Gabriel. We all appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. And that is the last we see of all the princes of hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes up in another couple of episodes. So in 1320, that is when Gabriel, Sam, and Dean go and track down Loki's sons. And he's like, oh no. He goes and takes on Loki's sons. And that is when we find out that it was Loki who had his sons capture Gabriel and sold him. Because there was the death of there's a whole other like Norse gods like mini arc that never really gets resolved, but irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we find out about the Loki thing. And then in 14:1 we find out that with Crowley being dead and Lucifer being dead and Asmodeus being Kentucky Fried, Hell has been left without a leader for the first time in forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, does someone step into the vacuum? Who is in charge of Hell?
Stupid ass one that was trying to be like the new Crowley for the first episode in season 14, and thank God,
Sam gets his Dom voice on.
Yeah,
oh, fucking
how
hell.
could you forget that? Yeah, so because Sam's basically like nobody's going to.
There will be no new King of Hell. Yeah,
and I don't think there is after that point. Thank God they got rid of that dude right away. So I was like, oh, please God, no, you can't. I can't see this. That'd be another character I would literally hate. Like the portrayal was just like, oh, I did not like that at all. So that was good that it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, and then I don't, because there was no one in charge at 15 when thingy.
No, because I think the demon Jack. Balfagar. Yeah, I think he was trying he wanted to do the thing too, I think, right? Like he was interested in taking over.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I think it just ends up being Rowena at the end.
And then of course it ends up being Rowena.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember if we'd ever been kind of I'd forgotten about that Sam Don voice moment. Like I said, I've only watched the later seasons once.
There's some reasons to rewatch certain episodes. You should probably just go back and think, oh, this is a good episode for this reason. Like, because of the Sam, Don
Oh,
voice.
God, yeah, he's got the grief beard and everything, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got the grief beard and he just is woo, Nelly. Loud.
I don't think they focus a lot on Hell in general in season 14 because I think a lot of it is Jack getting sick, them bringing him back.
Michael,
and then a lot of that stuff. So they're not really worried about Hell at the moment.
Well, I guess at that point Crowley's gone, Lucifer's gone, Asmodeus is gone. They're kind of like, well, they'll probably figure it out. There's not any impending threat from Hell. Yeah,
but then there's like Nick trying to get Lucifer to come back towards the end, and then it's the whole thing with Mary and all that stuff. So it's like it's the first half of it. There's like really like literally not much going on. So
getting Kentucky Fried. That is funny. Thus ends the Princes of Hell, the 4 Princes of Hell. So
our very rambling Princes of Hell, depending on how much is cut out. But yes, we had a lot to discuss that we weren't happy with.
But also let us know if you'd be interested in us kind of going through the demon types and stuff like we mentioned at the start of the episode, because there's like 9 of them.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. There will be an opposing episode to this where we're going to cover the 4 main archangels that appear in Supernatural that are also bodies.
Yeah. And it may be just as rambling.
It may be just as rambling.
But that's okay.
It depends how much I get drawn into the Wikipedia to go, that's not how that happened. We'll see.
Yeah. And I don't think I have as many issues.
I don't even think we've got a document about that one. I don't even think we've got a document about that one yet to have issues in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. But let us know if you would be interested in us doing any more dives into the demonology of Supernatural. Where should they contact us if they have thoughts and feelings about that, Sandra?
Well, they can
Full segue.
email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. They can comment on Spotify in the Q&A section. We can respond back to you there now. You can leave a YouTube comment. You can join our Discord, and you can chat with fellow idlers and us in real time. Don't forget to check out our merch store, which is another fun way to show your support. You can find details for everything on our website. That's idlingintheimpala.com. Want to fuel our supernatural road trip? Consider joining us on Ko-fi for as little as $1 a month. We have perks to go along with different membership tiers, and would love to have you along for the ride. And I don't remember if this is going to be coming out in January.
It is.
If it is, you still have time to become a Ko-fi member and participate in the giveaway that we're going to have at the end of January for an Idling in the Impala notebook.
The drawing will take place on the 31st. Go and join the Ko-fi. Help us keep fuel in the Impala and the lights on. And maybe win yourself a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe win yourself a notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Sandra, Karen.
No, that's okay. That's all I had because details are in the description. So make sure you check out the Ko-fi page for us.
Yeah, we'd love to have you along for the ride. You get a digital goat as well. It's been ages since I've had to make a goat. So somebody join the Ko-fi so I get to make goats again. I like it. But if you can't or don't want to join the Ko-fi, we'll only be sad for a minute, I promise. But you can always support us for free by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, and following, rating, sharing on audio platforms. Engagement like that really helps us with the algorithms. All hail their benevolence. As always, we have the causes we support in the description. So for me, you have LGBTQ plus talking charities. From Sandra, you have mental health charities. And the main causes we are highlighting, championing, spotlighting are World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders. If you want to know more about these causes, why we're supporting them, what they mean to us, check out idlingintheimpala.com. There's a page there called Causes Cause with all the details. So with that, we will say thank you for joining us in the back seat. Join the Ko-fi, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.